The day of the Dracoliches will come, freed from death, resplendent, mighty, and terrible. They are destined to rule us all. And when they do, the Dracoliches will remember those who worked to bring about their rule. They will remember the cult of the dragon. How great, how wondrous is our ruler, Arglorasa, the Sibilant Shade. The bones of a conquered city defend her. The dark itself moves at her command. Her plans encompass the realms and span the centuries. Surely she must prevail. We must not be lulled by the safety of this deep mountain fortress. We must not be lulled by the promise of a future yet to come. Great forces are in motion this very moment. War in the realms, the change of an age, and even treachery within. These are all reasons why we must act now and not delay. This pact with the Netherese will guarantee our future. The Netherese arrived yesterday. I personally escorted them to their quarters down in the crypts. It is strange indeed to have outsiders here in the Citadel of the Faithful. Yet so Arglorasa commanded in her wisdom, and she can see deeper into the shadows than any mortal. When Arglorasa awoke from long slumber to find the dwarves had built a city inside her mountain, she did not act hastily. Instead, she whispered in the shadows. She slowly twisted the mind of Dagan so that he ordered a temple built. Not to any dwarven god, but to Null, the death worm. Then she came to the temple, slew the dwarves, and took the city as her own. That is how she dealt with the dwarves, and that is how she shall deal with all the kingdoms of men. In time.
Dig, he hisses. Dig because she commands it. Dig because your cursed bones can never stop. The Death Knight turns towards you. You there! Join us! Join us in death! Do you think you'll prevail? The Death Knight hisses. I once thought the same. But the darkness always conquers. She always wins. Dagan collapses, his bones shattered into fragments. For a moment, the pieces shiver and tremble, but then, at long last, they lie still.
Who can count Arglorosa's mighty deeds? This mountain city which she took from the dwarves. Her immortal lichdom when she embraced the cult of the dragon. 3 years' war in Sembia and the sack of Archmage Mizentul's arcane stores. 1,000 other ruses that brought wealth and power to her and her followers. Who would wish to question our ruler's decisions? Who would dare? Today I stood in Arglorosa's presence. I had gone to the temple with my daily offering when I felt a cold stirring of the shadows at my feet. Then a deep darkness engulfed me, and I saw her looming above, her eyes like cold fires. How glorious. How magnificent. I am honored to be her emissary. Today she commanded us to equip ourselves for war. Even now, her undead servants work in the mines to provide us with ore. Soon, Thunderholme's silent halls will once more ring with the sound of weapons being forged. Only a fool quotes prophecy and then waits for it to come true. No, sisters and brothers, prophecy must be worked at, and that is why the cult of the dragon exists. Only our effort, our sacrifice, our devotion will make prophecy into truth. Netheril has tied strings to Sembia and made it into their puppet. Very well. Our cult will make ourselves useful to the Netherese. Then, when they begin to pull the strings in earnest, we will not be swept clean away. These Netherese, are they trifling with us? We are the cult of the dragon, and yet they treat us as if we are a band of superstitious tribesmen. Every time their insolence verges on blasphemy, I pray my Dragon Queen herself will appear and show them what lies waiting in the darkness. The Netherese complained about their accommodations again. They seemed to think that a Dracolich's lair ought to be more like a warm, comfortable inn. They don't seem to understand that the only reason they still draw breath is that Arglilorasa wishes it. The Netherese brought us the Stone Meridian as an offering to Arglilorasa. The dwarves thought they could hide it from her, but she knows how to find what she wants. The Red Dragons have taken the artifact to the mountaintop to guard it. Dwarves used to forge mighty weapons in the fires of the mountain. They thought they had built a fortress that none could breach, protected by weapons none could defeat. Yet they still fell to the dragon in the end. We are not so foolish, sisters and brothers. We know the power of the dragon. We walk a narrow mountain path, sisters and brothers. A path slick with ice and buffeted by the winds. Only perseverance and dedication will keep us from plummeting to our deaths. We must trust in our Dragon Queen to bring us safely to our goal, for with her, we shall fly rather than fall. How carefully Arglilorasa lays her plans. How she waits in shadow and never shows her face unless she must, until the time is right. And yet, this pact with Netheril, if it comes to pass, carries such great risks. But I must have faith. Surely this is all part of her plan. Do not fret, my children. Netheril will not get the better part of our bargain. The Netherese are strong and brash now. So too were the dwarves of Thunderholme, until the sibilant shade had finished with them. Look at Netheril. Its powers are at their pinnacle, and the Empire goes from strength to strength. Yet we must not forget that the Netherese are doomed to fall to the Dracoliches in the end. Until that day comes, we can use their power and influence for our own ends. We held council with the Netherese today. Things had come to a stalemate when Arglilorasa showed herself to the Netherese for the first time. How their faces went pale. How their eyes went wide with fear. I trust that they will not forget that I am the emissary of this dark power. A commanding figure addresses a crowd of Cult of the Dragon cultists. Arglilorasa has seen our future, she cries. For now, our future lies with Netheril. This alliance will guarantee our place until the reign of the Dracoliches arrives. The emissary turns, hearing you approach. Now prove your loyalty to her. Destroy the trespassers who have invaded her city. The living have failed, scoffs the emissary. Very well then, let the dead take their place. The emissary calls out for more aid. Guardians, protect us! This changes nothing, gasps the emissary. We do not matter. The future belongs to the worms.